Welcome to my channel. It is me, TJ. Teacher TJ. This season opens up with Ava using her phone to speak over the school's intercom system, and the only problem is she didn't press password protected, so it got hacked, and they're playing the Macarena over the loudspeaker, and the whole school is dancing, right? Yeah. So there is a new counselor at Abbott Elementary, Elena Alomar. She has 20 schools that she counsels. Tariq's girlfriend's son is now in Janine's class. He dropped him off at school and he still does not have a job. We're not surprised. And it's been like 4 seasons later, which in TV math is about 4 years, although Melissa said it was 6 years when it's somewhere in season 5. But hopefully he has gotten a job somewhere between seasons 2 and 4 and he hasn't like not been working any of that time. That would be terrible. We'll find out soon, or I'll find out soon. Meanwhile, in class, Melissa is allowing her students to have one curse word a day. I personally do not believe in children cursing in school or around adults at all. I do not subscribe to that. In my opinion, that teaches children disrespect. But on the weird flip side of that, I know a lot of grown people who do not curse in front of their mothers, even though they're grown. I don't subscribe to that. Folks be thinking I shouldn't curse around my mom, but if the conversation is intense or there's a lot of emotions involved, I'm probably going to use my sentence enhancers. And my mom is actually pretty cool. She doesn't come at me like, you better not say that in front of me or anything like that. She's not like, I know you didn't. Like, or you're being disrespectful. Nope, that's not my mom. She understands. She's like, girl, tell your story. But I would never cuss at my mother, though. Anyhow, Melissa's students aced their test, so she's pretty confident about teaching the 7th grade now, which is good. Mr. Johnson lets everyone know that they cannot run the dishwasher when it's not full because they can only run it so many times a day or they would be washing dishes with brown water. Ew. I don't understand people who wash dishes without it at least being a half of a load full. Me personally, the way that the dishwashers cost so much money, I only run my dishwasher when it's full or very close to being full. I used to be from the old school where I didn't believe in using my dishwasher. I had my last townhouse that I lived in. We live in a house now. I washed my dishes by hand because I like to use bleach. But then I came to my senses and realized that bleach has so many chemicals in it that I'm cool on that. So the dishwasher, it actually uses extremely hot water or steam or something. I don't know. Like if you open up the dishwasher in mid-cycle, you're going to see a bunch of steam come out. So the dishes are being sanitized and there's no need for the bleach on your dishes. This is just my opinion, okay? For me, I also run a home daycare, like I told you, and my kiddos don't need to be eating off bleached up dishes. So shout out to the cat full of bleach girlies in your dishwater, but yeah, y'all can keep that. I'm not washing my dishes with bleach, sorry. Now, I do bleach surfaces like the table and the toys and things like that, but my dishes, bleach give me a headache, so I'm cool on washing dishes with the bleach. So as for Melissa's 7th graders, Gregory discovers that Melissa's class has been cheating. And they're becoming disrespectful. Go figure, right? You give them a curse word, they probably gonna be a little disrespectful. Yeah, so Melissa has found out that her class is cheating, and cheating is something that I personally have never done, or something that I don't plan on doing. I'm actually a pretty honest human being. I don't subscribe to being dishonest. I thought about cheating, okay? But the way that I'm set up, I could not bring myself to cheat on any type of test or heck in life, period. I'm just not going to cheat. I have had some friends who cheated, though. I get it, I guess. In the break room, Barbara found sticky notes on the dishwasher. She was highly offended too, asking to only run the dishwasher when it's full. In Janine's class, Tariq's son desk is in what he calls the nosebleeds. So he makes another little kid get up by tossing her book bag across the room so she could go get it. And he explains that his son is special because of his past relationship with Janine. This dude, Tariq, makes a list of demands for Janine for his little guy. Oh, and one of the rules that he made was no reading for him on Thursdays because, yeah, he ain't like reading. He don't like reading, so he don't get him that on Thursdays. Yo, I have personally had so many requests from parents that are unbelievable. I try to accommodate the ones that make sense while also already having to keep up with so many other things, like the kids who show up with all white on, trying to keep them clean all day, or the kids who have expensive clothes or trying to keep them, from getting damaged in any kind of way. Because I am someone's mother, so while I think it's a little bizarre to send your kid to school in all white or some expensive clothes and expect them to not preschool, I get it. Maybe you saw that outfit, you really like that outfit, and when you buy kid clothes for your kids, where else are they going to wear them to other than school? Um, and you want to get the most wear out of their clothes. Another one of my rules is I do not allow snacks from outside inside, and that's a big rule of mine. But a lot of the times, children show up to school with snacks. The problem with it is that kids feel like you cannot tell me what to do with my snack because it's my snack. And it's my rule is we eat at the table. But once they come in with their snacks, they really have the mindset of I'm going to eat this wherever I want to because it's mine. But yeah, that's just some of the smaller ones. But I remember one time, the craziest thing that happened to me is that a lot of times parents will send their children to school sick, and we won't know until the end of the day because they'll send them to school sick and medicated. So one day, I guess after the medicine had worn off, this one particular student threw up, and it's the end of the day. And of course her mom didn't pick her up to the very end of the day. So when she threw up, I had to clean her up, clean up the throw up, sanitize everything, and change her clothes. And yeah, it was a mess. But somehow I misplaced this girl's dress. And this, again, all happened at the end of the day. So the mother, when she came to pick up her child, she demanded her dress. She like, where's her dress? I'm like, I really don't know, but I will get it to you first thing in the morning. And she's like, no, I'm not leaving here without her dress. And I'm like, girl, what? First of all, the parent handbook states we are not responsible for any toys or clothes or anything like that. Although I try my best to keep up with everything and take care of everything, your child's dress being lost is not like something that's really my concern. And second, if you give me something and I don't know where it is, and I tell you I will find it later, I'll give it to you tomorrow. Well, she basically refused to leave and was like, I ain't going nowhere until I get my child's dress. So although I was closed at 6, I didn't close until like 6:30, 7 o'clock because yeah, we had the lost dress. Um, she had a bunch of other issues too, like she would have problems with getting me my money because technical issues due to computers. And needless to say, she didn't work out, and we had to let her go. Bye bye. Go find another teacher. Shout out to Master Co. Drop down in the comments though and tell us about what was some of the craziest requests you've gotten from parents as a teacher, or crazy requests you've gotten as a preschool teacher, or from somebody else whose children that you care for, or just a crazy request on the job that you have. We would like to know. That was crazy for me. Like, girl, what? Meanwhile, Melissa is trying to set up her classroom so that they cheat. And we all know what that looks like, right? Whenever the teacher leaves the classroom and there's a test happening, it's basically to set up the students to see who's going to cheat. I think they do it on purpose though, because they know that y'all students not going to pass, and teachers have their students need to pass those tests, for their reviews and bonuses and all that kind of stuff, state records and all of that. Well, in the break room, Janine is talking to Greg about how to reach her student. Ava offers her unsolicited, unfiltered advice. Jacob realizes that the dishwasher is running and Barbara is washing one spoon. Jacob goes to confront Barbara and finds her. She admits to washing one spoon and a cup. And the school counselor has spoke with both of them separately, just on a humbug, not really trying to counsel, but Barbara feels like the school counselor believed in what she was saying, and then Jacob felt like the school counselor was siding with what he was saying. So they both went to talk to the school counselor as if she doesn't have enough work. So she shuts the door on both of them so that they can go figure it out on their own or together or separate. She don't care. Just go figure it out and leave her out of it, okay? At Melissa's class, the entire class passed with an A. One student excitedly uses her chance to use her one sentence enhancer. Sentence enhancers is a word that I got from SpongeBob SquarePants when him and I think it might have been Patrick were cussing.
Ooh, you're right, Patrick. My lips are tingling from the spiciness of this conversation.
Mine too.
At that moment, they celebrate working together to get an A, and Miss Clemente has no qualms about it. Tariq is in Janine's class making demands for his future son. It's like the audacity. But Janine is no longer going to accommodate Tariq's silly requests. In Ava's office, the school counselor works her magic on Ava and gets her to coach her own teachers while encouraging them to figure it out, which that's Ava's job. Melissa realizes that the second grade students made her soft, and she's decided to return back to the old fighting Melissa with her newfound seventh graders. But over in Janine's class, Tariq is rambling on about mirrors or Michaels and monkeys and something, and he kind of apologizes, I guess. Jacob and Barbara come to an agreement. He gives her an extra mug so that she doesn't have to run the dishwasher, and she buys gloves so that she doesn't have to ruin her fresh manicure. Alyssa talks to her students because she realizes they don't know anything about conspiracies or loose lips and how to scheme properly. And we know Melissa is about that life. So, as a teacher, she wants to prepare her students. Yeah. So, she's going to make sure that they know all about conspiracies and such. Mr. Johnson cooks a salmon in the dishwasher, which is actually quite gross. And probably the reason that the dishwasher water is brown. This reminds me of the episode on Cheapskates where the lady cooked the lasagna in the dishwasher to save money, which I'm like, you still ran it. Well, I think she actually cooked the lasagna and washed the dishes at the same time.
Now, to save money, I multitask with washing dishes and cooking meals with my dishwasher. I just gotta make sure I wrap it really well or else the food will get wet.
With the dishwasher reaching a temperature of 170 degrees, the lasagna will be fully cooked in 1.5 hours without using the additional gas of an oven.
Crazy part is they had company and they ate the lasagna, I guess. Well, moral of the story for this episode was I'm going to say don't be a cheater. Don't cheat on tests. Study. Don't cheat in life because when you cheat, you only cheat yourself. And that was something that kept me from cheating on tests. The fact that if I cheat on this test, I've always felt like school is just a build up on one thing to the next. So I never wanted to cheat because I felt like if I cheat, I'm not going to know what I'm gonna have to keep cheating, and I didn't want to cheat the first time, so I just study or I just know it. I just pay attention to class. But overall, I would say don't cheat. When you cheat yourself. Bye for now.